Justin Timberlake allegedly disrespects Britney Spears. Kathy Griffin spills the tea. In the land of pop royalty, it seems chivalry's a forgotten track, with Timberlake's Respect hitting as many wrong notes as his last album.
Tanzania president sworn in after election marred by violence. When 98% of the vote screams landslide, it's hard to hear the cries of those who weren't exactly invited to the victory party.
Serbian government commemorates train disaster anniversary, while safety reforms remain off track. As thousands gather to remember, it's a poignant reminder that promises of change are often derailed by political inertia and red tape.
Morrisons outcompetes Scotland's westernmost shop Fairy Stores, forcing closure after 50 years in what they call business evolution. When the supermarket giants play Monopoly, it's the little shops that get bulldozed for a splash of corporate convenience.
Doja Synth drops new single Walk the Glass and calls it revolutionary. When every artist claims a revolution, the only real change is in the playlist, not the airwaves, but hey, at least it's catchy.
Lenskart Solutions announces $821 million IPO, calls it a vision for India's future. In a world where eyewear is the new Bitcoin, investors are squinting to see if the bubble will pop or just fog up.
Canonical embraces Rust for core utilities, promises safer Ubuntu. Swapping out the engine mid-flight, they're betting on Rust to save us from crashing into a sea of memory leaks.
Austria's Ministry of Economy ditches US tech for Nextcloud, claiming digital sovereignty with 1,200 employees shifted. Who knew digital independence required a passport stamped with open source enthusiasm and a disdain for corporate overlords?
Adam Scott's daughter chooses stepbrother's costume for Halloween, nails the nostalgia. When your kid turns a comedy classic into a family tradition, it's a reminder that some jokes never die, they just get passed down.
Virginia Giuffre omits former PM's name in memoir, citing safety concerns. When truth wears a muzzle, it's not just the silence that's deafening. It's the echo of power protecting its own, with threats instead of justice.
John Carpenter slams Oscar-winning The Substance, calling it a complete zero.
Seoul Central District Court upholds Ador's exclusive contract, leaving New Jeans tied up and out of pocket. Looks like New Jeans won't be cutting the corporate apron strings anytime soon. Just another dance move in capitalism's choreography.
Asia's data centers expand capacity for AI demand, yet still burn fossil fuels at record rates. Building a digital utopia on a foundation of coal and oil sounds like the future is a bit smoky, doesn't it?
Bryan Adams claims he's invisible in rock fraternity despite global fame. When a rock star feels unseen, it's less about the limelight and more about the shadows cast by egos too big to share a stage.
Nexperia halts chip supplies to China, then global car production screeches toward chaos. A semiconductor standoff that could turn your morning commute into a Flintstones episode.
U.S. appoints Peter Lamelas ambassador to Argentina, but tango diplomacy won't fix trade wars. Sending a diplomat with a smile as wide as the Rio de la Plata won't dance away the tariffs and tensions.
Police arrest one suspect in Cambridgeshire train stabbing, praise heroic staff. When bravery becomes the last line of defense, maybe it's time to question why the front line is a train carriage instead of a safer society.
A great-grandmother helps crack dinosaur mummy mystery, proving once again that wisdom doesn't fossilize with age. When the past needs a helping hand, call in the experts with knitting needles and grandkids.
Kenyan rains unleash landslides, leaving 21 dead and 30 missing, while climate change denial remains a global pastime. As homes crumble and lives are lost, world leaders continue their Hamlet act, conjuring climate action as if it's a Shakespearean tragedy.
Royal Navy unveils Sea Venom missile, claims superior capability. When the solution to peace is a shinier weapon, we're left wondering if the arms race is just a high-stakes game of poker with no winners.
Nature article stirs debate on Kotu anisotropy, but subscriptions remain pricier than a Tesla charging station. Academics dig into the mysteries of anisotropic mobility, while institutions charge an arm and a leg for intellectual enlightenment.
Disney Plus streams HDR Shen Plus on over 1,000 Hulu titles, because nothing says progress like limited availability. When you wish upon a star, make sure it's compatible with your streaming service.
Hamas returns 3 Israeli bodies from Gaza, while Israel kills a man for approaching the yellow line. In this deadly game of territorial hopscotch, the rules are written in blood, and the winner's prize is just more tragedy.
UN skips formal treaty, appeases top polluters, calls it diplomacy. A potluck dinner where everyone brings empty plates, while the planet waits for a main course that never arrives, leaving us all starved for action.
In the land of corporate chess, pawns are for sacrificing, not for safeguarding.
A Ukrainian double agent tricks Russian intelligence, proving espionage is just a geopolitical game of Uno. When your secret agent plays reverse cards on you, maybe it's time to shuffle your deck. Putin, it's not personal, just international strategy.
Scientists stunned as island spider loses half its genome, defying expectations. When even spiders are shedding baggage, maybe it's time we rethink our own evolutionary hoarding tendencies.
Spirit Halloween opens 1,400 stores, vanishes by November. Like a ghost haunting every strip mall, they profit from our desire to pretend we're someone else, if only until the clearance sales begin.
Macron's approval rating hits 20%, but he still claims France is on the right track. When your popularity is lower than a student protesters' turnout, maybe it's time to rethink the right track rhetoric. Vive la révolution, Macron. When luxury enthusiasts clutch their pearls over tax plans, the real tragedy is how fragile opulence becomes when it's threatened by fiscal realities.
Peter Ainsley Allen releases new single, claims it's an open pasture.
When your debut track sounds like a grassy field, let's hope the next one's more than just a gentle breeze.
Alex Van Tassel releases Fingerprints at $0, but somehow we're still paying the emotional cost of indie introspection. In a world drowning in algorithmic beats, Van Tassel's raw humanity hits like a refreshing slap to the soul. Listen if you dare to feel something.
Prime loses military pay, Russian regions cut local budgets, proving that in the war economy, bullets beat books and bridges every time. Turns out, when your military gets a raise, your potholes and public services get a pink slip. Meanwhile, the only thing invading more space than soldiers are the budget deficits.
When academic freedom yields to authoritarian pressure, it's not just research that's compromised. It's the backbone of truth itself being sold for diplomatic scraps.
China opens massive Simandu mine, predicts African iron ore coup. When a single mine can tip the scales of global power, it's clear the world needs more than just shiny new toys.
Trump tariffs could add $40 billion to holiday costs, then blame the Grinch. When tariffs turn Santa's sleigh into a debt collector, maybe it's time to rethink who's actually stealing Christmas.
CDC warns of severe pox strain in the US, adds yet another chapter to the saga of the world's least wanted sequel series, Pandemic Panic. The only thing spreading faster than these viruses is the sense of déjà vu as we stockpile hand sanitizer and wonder if Zoom is about to make a comeback.
Nancy Mace berates cops in airport meltdown, curses her way through confusion. When public servants go full reality TV, you know the drama's real, but the leadership might just be a bad script.
Nation-state hackers unleashed Aristotle malware in suspected supply chain attack, proving once again that cybersecurity is just a high-tech game of whack-a-mole. In this digital age, hackers are like mosquitoes, always buzzing around, leaving you itching for better security, but somehow still drawn to the light of your data.
Phantom Raven malware infiltrates 126 NPM packages, swipes GitHub tokens. When your code's best friend turns into a spy, it's time to question if your CI/CD pipeline is a security sieve or just a very leaky bucket.
Assemblies of God churches shield predators, then preach about moral high ground. When your sanctuary becomes a cover for abuse, maybe it's time to confess that your moral compass needs a factory reset.
Trump caps refugee admissions at 7,500, prioritizing mostly white South Africans, because diversity is overrated when you prefer monochrome. In Trump's America, the Statue of Liberty's torch now doubles as a flashlight for checking skin tone at the border.
Paddington's big belly and wavy fur debut promising mischief.
While the titans of tech dance on the stock market ceiling, the rest of us are left wondering if we can afford the popcorn to watch.
Poland's electricity costs surge, and the government claims it's all part of the Green Revolution as wallets turn an alarming shade of red. Apparently saving the planet now means draining your savings, because nothing says environmentally friendly like skyrocketing energy bills that leave you powerless.
When a terrorist group becomes the de facto government, you know the original one was about as effective as a chocolate teapot in a heat wave.
Lil Scrappy and Lil Jon unleash Head Busa, where the bass drops harder than a conspiracy theorist's faith in facts. Southern hip-hop, where every beat is a battle cry, and every lyric is a manifesto for shaking off the chains of silence.
The Big Apple's political theater gives us sequels no one asked for, as voters realize the ballot box often just recycles the same old script.
Michigan House closes loophole shielding Secretary of State from penalties. Politicians fixing loopholes they once exploited is like arsonist volunteering for the fire brigade. Too little, too late, but hey, it looks good in the papers.